Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's me and my terrible new haircut. Come back to see you again and tell you another story of our astral adventures. As you would know, we captured a whole bunch of reptilians and we're working to convert them from the dark side. It's you may have seen the video where we caught the first 650, and those ones we handed over to Galactic Federation of Light. I kept them in a little holding dimension for a little while, and it turned out just easier to hand them over to them. I haven't checked what their fate is since, but I assume that the Galactic Federation of Light have been honorable and respectful in their treatment of them in the hope of converting them, which is what we all talked about during our Galactic Federation of Light meeting. The other 1,400 that I collected, I started implementing the old plan that I had, which was to crush 1,000 years of karmic replay into them inside of about 10 minutes, using this time distortion trick I've got, and also with a constant alternative way of responding to the world that's not hate and fury and anger and aggression. And the one that the Sun came up with sounded a hell of a lot like a Mary Poppins tune. Now, once I started implementing this, the results were not very good. Firstly, can you imagine what it's like to experience 1,000 mental years of Mary Poppins playing in your ear? Can you imagine that? And so no wonder a lot of these draconians suicided rather than continue through that, which is not to mention the reverse karmic experience for them, like they weren't having a good time anyway. So we've reworked the whole system that we were using there. And what we've got now is one that's much, much slower. It might take 6 to 12 months, but the subjects, is that what I'm calling them? The subjects of all re-education are responding well. They understand the program. They understand what they're doing, where they've got to go and how to get there at a manageable pace. So it just might dang well work. We'll see. I'll keep you posted. This week was a very, very odd week. My personal practice, not my personal meditation practice, but my private professional practice is all about dealing with people who have serious mental health issues like addictions or schizophrenia or the really serious ones. And it's really, really simple. What we call mental illness is actually just simply demonic interference. And if you have or haven't picked that up right now, I'm an absolute expert at solving demonic interference. And so what was interesting about this case this week was that I found one being that was interfering with this person who most of them are scared of me. I'll just put it that way. When they meet me, they don't like being seen. They know that if I can actually get to the point where I see them, I might become a problem for them. And I know how to treat them, how to respond to them, how to talk to them. And about 2/3 of them just surrender rather than go through the painful experience of me exterminating them. This one though was getting really, really cheeky with me. He was being a total smartass. And so I was trying to figure out, like, why does he think he can get away with this? Why does he think this is the way it should be for him? And as the conversation progressed, he belonged to a collective that spanned 6 realities or 6 different timelines, 3 of them from Earth, 2 of them from some other planet and another solo planet. But we're talking about a being that spans 6 realities, 6 different worlds. Now, the only example we have of this that you may have ever heard of is from that movie Doctor Strange, and the whole point of the movie was to stop a being just like this from coming into Earth. They called it Dormammu, and the whole point was that one of the guys from their order had called it in, and thus the problems began. This is not to say that it completely owned 6 whole realities. It was present in 6 realities. The one who was getting really cheeky with me, we'll just call him a lieutenant. for want of a better word. Now, he was cheeky, but he let me in and see just the idea that I should be scared of him and not him should be scared of me. And I started to see this vast, vast reality where they had captured tens of thousands of souls and were using them as batteries to fuel their existence. And you know, I started seeing I know that these guys can't touch me. My protection grids are so strong; they're just impenetrable, and nobody gets through. Try as they might. And so, for me to wander into a dimension like that, I don't have an issue with it. Now, I did start pulling out these old souls, these recovered souls. You know, 6,000 to 7,000 of the things. This particular spirit that was in this girl was saying, "Doesn't bother me. No problem at all. There's plenty more where that came from. We're so big and so tough, you'll never defeat us." And it's kind of like one guy going up against an empire for the sake of saying it. But here's where it got really interesting. I got a lot of cheek out of this guy, and I didn't like his attitude, but he could hide in the vastness of his reality. So I kept chasing him around, and as I chased him around, he showed me more and more and more, where I managed to find more and more pockets of these captured souls and release them. The one thing that didn't add up for me is that these spirits want to spend, I don't know, 10 lifetimes creating the reality or building a sense of how the world is into the individual they're possessing, to the point where they have fully created the reality. They've fully created their emotional surroundings of this particular soul. When that happens, that soul is encapsulated. When it's encapsulated, all of the energy that comes out of that soul feeds into the capsule. And that capsule then feeds that energy up to whoever captured it. And that fuels this evil. Now, it takes, I'll just say, 10 lifetimes to train or encapsulate a soul in that way. And I recovered thousands of these things and transported them to a paradise world halfway across the galaxy. The Galactic Federation of Light pointed out what would be a planet that would be an ideal place for them to rehabilitate. And so we sent them all there. Though mathematically, it just didn't add up. The price that he was paying for his interaction with me, the amount of souls that I was recovering, didn't make sense, because he was spending the company's resources at an alarming rate. Now, this is where it gets really, I was saying to him, it doesn't add up. You can't afford to let me capture all of these souls. I'm going to keep doing it just so that you can live, or just so that you can keep this one person, which doesn't add up for me. And he was just blithe about it, he was just cheeky. What was interesting is, like, about 6 or 8 hours later, I became aware of an interaction that they were talking about me. So I heard it. It's where the cheeky one was reporting to his seniors as to how did half of our captured soul batteries get recovered? How do they all get stolen? How come our facilities in this reality have been totally trashed? And this lieutenant had to answer to them. Needless to say, they immediately abandoned the person who I was trying to depossess. They destroyed the smart ass. I haven't seen him since. And then they entered negotiations with me. And I said, I want all of the souls from this reality back in this reality, back in my hands, and you guys can get the hell out of here. I want you to leave this reality. And they started to do that. Like, there is no number of them that I have not been able to crush. This is something I'm very expert at, but their whole empire, they started to withdraw it. During the negotiation, I had to remind them that, Chimera management, the Chimera white collars have all left the planet. So has Lucifer and the upper echelons of his crew. So has the Demiurge in the upper echelons of his crew. And so many other factions that we don't even know the names of them. there's nothing left. I said to them, the writing's on the wall. You can leave peacefully and recover what resources you can, or I could smash you. And they started to retreat. Now, I think that the common sense approach is I will make the point that light always destroys darkness. Light is stronger than darkness. Darkness is dependent on light. When light turns on it, it has no defense. There is nothing they can do about it. When properly deployed, the light is impenetrable. The light is unstoppable. And they recognize that I can do that. And so it started to withdraw. Now, I think there's a faction within their own group that doesn't want to leave. So they still have about 10% of their presence here, which, you know, is kind of like a viper waiting to strike. It wants to attack, but there's no vulnerabilities for it to attack. So I might have to go and smash that one too. But a Dormammu, like from the movie Doctor Strange, a Dormammu type character, the big evil nemesis at the end of the movie. We have one less on Earth. Now, I spoke to Gaia about this, and I said, so how many of these groups are actually here? And she said about 200. It is kind of a big deal. So it just is a big deal. It's not kind of, it really is a big deal. Though, unfortunately, we have bigger fish to fry right now. We have more important missions to be doing, but I did want to share that with you because, yet again, it's another great victory for Earth and the humans, and we should be doing more of that. And I just wanted to share that with you because I want you to know that people out there fighting for Earth. There's people out there who know what to do, know how to do it, and how to recover Earth for the humans. It's been dominated for so long. It just drives me insane to think about how long they've been playing with us. And they have built a lot. They have a large facility for everything they do. Like they have built incredible energetic constructs all over the Earth because they've had thousands of years to do it and unlimited resources with which to attempt it. To smash them, it takes time, but we have to prioritize where we spend our time and what we handle. So I let Gaia guide that. Now, this Dormammu character, I'm sure we'll get to them in time, but it's not the priority right now. But I did just want to share that with you. Hey, look, anything you want to say, write it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. I look forward to seeing more of you. Please don't forget, if you watched all this way, then subscribe, because I keep saying interesting stuff. And if you're into this work, then there will be plenty more that you can glean from what I'm talking about. There is instruction in these videos because I'm just exposing such high-end work to you. Anyway, thanks for all of that. See you all later. Bye-bye.